Hey, welcome back. I just noticed a couple weeks ago that the green screen effect is like a lot better. It used to be that if things were like choppier and like hard, the edges were harder. But I noticed like I just did this update and everything's like softer and it just works a lot better. So it's cool. It's like the technology got better where you could just have a green screen without having a green screen. It's pretty cool. I don't know how else I would do this. Like, would I buy a green screen and put it behind me? That's kind of ridiculous. Where am I gonna keep a green screen in this little apartment? Stop killing me. It wouldn't fit. Stay back. I got a big red shield. Upgraded shield. Okay. We're gonna talk about Afghanistan. Let's see where this goes. It is a super massive. I didn't realize like how. I've been getting into more like historical stuff recently, I guess. So I'm kind of thinking like this is kind of a big deal. It is interesting to learn about the history of Afghanistan. I mean, I don't know really anything about it, but I just reading the Wikipedia articles about it. So, I guess this all kind of started with the fall of the Soviet Union. Is that fair to say? And then, like, Afghanistan maybe was part of the Soviet Union? That doesn't sound right, but... So, once the Soviet Union fell and like Afghanistan was its own place, I guess there was a bunch of Islamic groups that were like vying for control of the government, and so they had this civil war, and eventually, in like 1996, the Taliban won the war. So the Taliban were the leaders of Afghanistan for like 5 years. I didn't know that. From 1996 until September 11th. And, well, this is just going to be me kind of talking about what I learned, and hopefully most of it's right. What happened was Al-Qaeda was like a terrorist group, but they were being protected by the Afghanistan government, the Taliban. America was like, hand us over the Taliban. I mean, the Al-Qaeda, hand us over Osama bin Laden, help us get him. And the Taliban was like, no, we're not going to do that. Because, like, you don't have any proof that he did it or something. So that's when the war on terror started, and we went into Afghanistan. And we're like, okay, we're just going to... The Taliban are being kind of jerks about this, so we're just going to go in with our army, take over, and install our own kind of government, our own democracy there, because it's not really a democracy, what they're doing. But, like, we didn't really care what they were doing until they started protecting this terrorist group, Al-Qaeda. So then we started this war, and we deposed the Taliban government, pretty much, and then in 2004, I think, was the start of the new American-helped Afghanistan government, where, like, we tried to help them be like, okay, here's your constitution, and this is what you do. You have presidents, and you have elections. Okay, this is gonna be a thing. No, it can't be Srasala. Who's the bad guy again? What's his name? Is it, Uh-oh. Now what do we do? Do I have to kill him? I'm gonna save. So the interesting thing is, like, there was a status quo kind of in Afghanistan, but that's why we had so many troops there, is like to maintain our democracy that we helped. Because if we didn't, then the Taliban could just come back, and because they have the most soldiers, I guess. I was reading that they had like 200,000 soldiers. That's a lot. Ow. Wait, so what do I do? Is this one of those things where you have to just die? Maybe. Well, let's see. I didn't know this, but like Trump a year ago made an agreement to, like, okay, eventually we're gonna take all the soldiers out of Afghanistan. And then Biden was like, okay, yeah, I agree with that, so let's do it. And then, nope, I just died. So what do I do? How do I beat him? Oh, the stupid fairy. Aghanim, is that his name? Hierarchical tower, did that. Boss 5, Aghanim. Aghanim is rather easy if you know what to do. You can actually inflict any damage on him. Instead, you must reflect his own magical spells back on him. So don't try to attack him or you'll be damaged. Aghanim has 3 kinds of fireball, a white ball, and a lightning attack. The first 2 attacks can be reflected with fireball. Okay. So I gotta play tennis. Right. So yeah, it's a big deal. Because now the Taliban, since we left, the Taliban pretty quickly just went back in and just like, all right, we're just gonna take over Afghanistan again, because there wasn't too much resistance. I don't think even really too many people died. Pretty much just the Afghan soldiers just left because they're like, we're not gonna die. I don't blame them. I mean, they're soldiers, but like, should you have to die for your country? I don't know. It's a whole thing. Ow. That's what Biden said. He's like, oh, if the Afghanistan people aren't willing to fight, then, like, got him. Then Americans should be. It's kind of, I don't know why I said it like that. I mean, it's kind of true, but, ow. I don't know. War is bad. It is interesting. I was like, okay, this seems pretty obviously a misstep for Biden. Like, he should have done a better job here, right? The Taliban just immediately took over right when he left. He didn't have a better plan. And all the people that I listened to, they're super liberal, and they're like, well, it's bad, but that's the thing I kind of like about the liberal people, because they will say, like, it's bad, but then they have to say, like, oh, but it's like, it's complicated, and this is so complicated. It is complicated, but is he gonna do lightning? How do I know? The thing, there it is. I think if he goes up there, it means lightning. This isn't going to be a very interesting take on the situation, but I just wish... The thing that's so depressing about politics is we never seem to know the right thing to do. I just wish there was a better option. It's always just 2 bad options. Like, either we stay there, which is bad, or we leave, which is bad. Why can't there be a president who's like, I've got the better idea. I know exactly what to do. Well met, like a true hero. Don't do that. Ooh. That's interesting. I wish they explained that a little bit more, because that's kind of interesting. Should be your first goal in this world, and I can rely. What? I can rely. So he's saying like, okay, our world with Hyrule is the light world, and this is the dark world. But he said that this world used to be the golden land. So there used to be a light world and a golden land. Or was there only a golden land, and then something happened and it split into light world and dark world? So you can keep your heroic figure. You got the thing? How do I use it? How do I use the pearl? Whatever. So that's my take. Biden taking people out is just as bad as leaving them in. I'm always sad that we can't have a smarter option. Think of an actual solution. Give the Taliban cheeseburgers. The president is just like, we're all idiots. I guess that's a good thing. Trump, yeah. Trump helped with that, I think, just to help us realize, like, the president is just a dude and he's, like, not really smarter than anybody else. I guess that's obvious. But when you're younger, you're like, the president is the best person ever, and he knows exactly what to do. He doesn't know what he's doing. The reason why Biden took people out of Afghanistan is because it was a popular thing to do. That's pretty much what he said. He was like, oh, the people are behind me in this decision. Okay. So the reason why you did it is because 55% of Americans wanted you to do it. Like, it wasn't because you had this amazing plan. Obviously, you didn't have a great plan for pulling people out. Because right when you left, it just got terrible. And now you got airports with Afghanistan people, and they're like jumping on the plane because they have to leave. It's crazy. Give them cheeseburgers, for crying out loud. They just want cheeseburgers. Al-Qaeda just want cheeseburgers. If Al-Qaeda had cheeseburgers, they wouldn't do what they did. And what they do, they wouldn't be bad people. That's my solution. A cheeseburger for every Afghanistan person. If I'm elected president, a cheeseburger for every Afghanistan person. I mean, that's the truth, right? If the people in Afghanistan lived in the same kind of comfort that I live in, they wouldn't be so repressive and angry and like, oh, women can't go to school. Is that true? I don't know. See, we're all just dumb and we don't know what we're doing. My solution isn't any worse than the president's, though, because now the Taliban are running Afghanistan and it's terrible and everybody's scared. Like, that's not good. It's just depressing when you realize that nobody really knows what they're doing. I wish there was someone. We just had a better system. Someone was smarter. Like, is it really an unsolvable? Everybody's always like, oh, Middle East is so hard to figure out, and we can't. Is it really that hard? Like, you're just saying that because you're stupid and you can't figure it out. I mean, I can't figure it out either, but Don't act like it's this, oh, we can't solve it, it's so hard to solve. If you're the president, that's your job. Figure it out. You said that you were the smartest person in the country, and that's why you're the president. So act like it and be smart. Solve this problem. Help people. I don't know. I went way too long today. See you tomorrow.